Welcome back. Another episode, another season. Focus Daily TV. Here on Focus Daily TV, we speak about biblical prophecy. We speak about God. We speak about the laws of God. But more specifically, we speak about the disenfranchisement of God's children, the Afro Americans, and how the history of America has been hidden, and how the history of the true owners of God, the true owners of America are the children of God. It's been a while since I've been in here, but I'm back now. Once again, bear with me. Sometimes I fumble over my words, but my point is still the same. Time for people to return back to the will of the Father in order that we may receive our blessing, in order that we may receive the keys to the kingdom. They will be speaking about the First National Bank, the structure of this banking system in America. This banking system played a essential role in the disenfranchisement of us as a people. They helped create the bond. They helped trap the people into what is known as debt slavery. And they helped perpetuate the great Holocaust that took place right here on American soil. Not over there in Germany, not somewhere up to the east across seas, right here on American soil, which is biblically known as the kingdom of God. So what we're going to do is watch a short video on the history of the Banking Institute, and I'll chime in periodically to add a little more information to hopefully wake you people up. Let's begin.
Difficult one, but our country worked hard.
1 minute, y'all. Hook up these headphones. We won't have no interference in the background. All right, let's go.
And achieved its much needed goal. The journey to get to a national bank was a difficult one, but our country worked hard and achieved its much needed goal. The need for a banking system was obvious.
Now, biblically, the Bible states that the gold belongs to God. This American system was originally backed by gold. But during the late 1800s, early 1900s, they brought in a system of registration and bonding, such as birth certificates and social security cards, which bonded the souls of men to this banking system. That's why these money changers are in so much. That's why these money changers are in so much trouble, to keep it short, because they perpetuated this system of the enslavement of men, the selling and trading of the souls of men.
But not agreed on. With the First National Bank, our banking system has grown beyond what people ever thought was possible. The First National Bank is a big frontier moment in history because it has a huge effect on our government and economy. With this, the government is making money from loans and taxes and has a better place for the public.
Speaking of making money, this whole banking system, this cash that you see right here, is based on a fiat system, which is not backed by gold. Once again, it is backed by the souls of men, as Revelation speaks of. And here on Focus Daily TV, I'm trying to wake you people up, because it is the truth that shall make us free. And the truth is, we've been what's the word? We've been placed underwater in this maritime system, whether it be commercial law or maritime law. And this system, whose whole plan was to disenfranchise the children of God and enslave them, is the main topic of discussion today. Once again, this fiat currency, this false currency, is actually backed by the souls of men.
deposits. Although we needed a national bank, many people were against the idea of one. Before the first national bank was even made, our banking system wasn't very cohesive. For example, if I lived in New York and I wanted to buy something in Philadelphia, I would hope that Philadelphia would accept my New York money.
Originally, America's economic system was placed in the hands of the Levites or the Sanhedrin, the government which God intended this country to be ran by. However, foreign invaders came in and they immediately began to switch up the laws of the land and incorporate the laws of the sea, the laws of the satanic, demonic nation. It was our goal, it was our job as a people to stand firm on the word of God. However, as the Bible speaks of, we lost sight of God. Kings of Babylon came in and took over, and they introduced these things such as the banking system with no good intentions in mind when it was created. But right now, we're just gonna roll through history and we're gonna check out the way that they present history. Once again, I'll chime in with bits and pieces of the truth.
As Alexander Hamilton being the Secretary of Treasury, he wanted to revive the idea, but his nemesis Thomas Jefferson believed that the states should each have their own banks, and that a national bank would unfairly favor wealthy businessmen in urban areas.
Now, if you're paying attention, the bank system is set up very similar to the current 50-state system. Each state is an incorporated entity and it relinquishes its powers to the federal state. The federal state, which only operates in a 10 square mile district, gets their power and authority directly from the states. And once again, the states register people at birth through Social Security cards and birth certificates. They bond people to this federal banking system at birth. The banking system created the current federal system that we have today.
Over farmers in the country. That then led to a debate. Hamilton's case at the debate was that it would be convenient to have a national bank as a depository of tax revenues, eliminate the middleman of a private bank, and he wanted the government to make selective loans. To prove why he believes that
those middleman private citizens they speak of is us. So they wanted to eliminate the threat of us as a people, Afro-Americans, excuse me. They wanted to eliminate our power and lead us to a system where we're dependent on them and on their foreign gods and economic monstrosities. Here on the Focus Daily TV show, though, we're going to present the truth about this and begin to open people's eyes up as to what actually occurred. Because it's important to have a clear vision of what occurred in order that the truth may be more effective and awaken more people and align people back with the Father, the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Well, I got you here. Hit that like button and subscribe. Support the channel. Hashtag Focus Daily TV. Once again, this is the beginning of season 3. More to come. Let's move on.
That they need a national bank. Hamilton in the letter writes, "It is impossible the contest can be much longer supported on the present footing. We must have a government with more power. We must have a tax in kind. We must have..."
See, they wanted to crucify us and resurrect themselves into the power position. And they did that through the 13th and 14th Amendment, through registration and statistical classification, eugenics, a great Holocaust. But right now we're speaking of banking. They did this through the banking system. And that's what she's explaining, how they wanted to set up a new footing rather than the original people of this land, the children of God. They wanted to bring in their system of democracy.
have a foreign loan. We must have a bank on true principles of a bank. We must have an administration district from Congress and the hands of single men under their orders. Hamilton means that the government should be more stable, that they should have a place where they can make taxes and make loans, and to have a
They called it making it stable, quote unquote. Actuality, it was entrapping us as the people and bonding us to the federal government. Now we need to be free, and it is through Christ and the blood of Christ that we shall be free. The prisoner shall be set free. That's what the Bible speaks about when it says saving people, freeing people from this maritime trap that we found ourselves underwater in.
have a bank that they can rely on, run by Congress. Hamilton then spends a lot of time explaining how the great European powers all have access to a national bank for operations that improve their government. Hamilton points out many advantages that banks have for government.
Let's listen, they're speaking in code. Operations that improve their government meant to push us to the side as Afro-Americans, as the children of God, as the indigenous people of this land, and place themselves into our position. Whitewash, if you will.
Governments and also for speeding up trade. It makes it easy for common civilians. Hamilton then writes a letter to Robert Morris saying, "To me it appears evident that
civilians or citizens on a citizenship, it's the code that they're speaking. We are the free man. We are the original people of this land. They, through the 13th and 14th Amendment, made themselves civilians and citizens. And while we at it, civilian is a military term because it's a great military complex that backs these banking institutions to enforce or execute their will on the children of God. But the truth is here, and it's time for you people to wake up. But we're going to keep moving. Focus Daily TV here to wake you up.
That an executive ministry composed of men with the qualifications I have described would speedily restore the credit of the government. He is trying to explain that a national bank will successfully gain back America's credit. In another letter, Hamilton writes to George Clinton saying, "I am much mistaken if the debts due from the United States to the citizens of the Hamilton writes to George Clinton saying, "I am much mistaken if the debts due from the United States to the citizens of the state of New York do not considerably exceed its portion of necessary funds. Of course, it has immediate interest that there should be a continental..."
So stop giving your money to the free man and the indigenous people of this land, and let's begin to set up our own system of money changing, our own seat of judges. And let's execute or crucify them and resurrect ourselves in their position. And before you know it, they didn't forgot what happened, and they thinking they from Africa somewhere. You know what I'm talking about?
Provision for them, but there are certain superior motives that ought to operate in every state. The obligation of national faith, honor, and reputation.
If this is your first time to the show, we're speaking about reparations from God. We're speaking about how the kingdom of the United States of America, quote unquote, belongs to what's known as the black man. Not any black man, the black men from right here in America, these African Americans, Ray Ray and them. You know what I'm talking about? People right around the corner that you grew up with. Those are children of God. He shall bless us with this land, but first we got to come back home. And what's going to bring us home is reproofing the sin and the lies that's been told to us. And through that, we'll begin to see where we naturally belong. But I'm not here to preach. Let's go.
This means that Hamilton feels that since New York is...
One more thing if you just arrived. You might want to go back and check out previous shows, and it'll bring you up to speed of what the main topic of this show is. But right now, we're speaking about the history of the banking system here in America. Pay attention. All you got to do is just listen and pay attention, and it come to you.
Is a wealthy state that he thinks that their citizens should pay taxes. Again, Hamilton writes a letter to the Continental Congress saying, "There are some of us ignorant enough to imagine that the war may be carried on without credit, defraying the expenses of the year with what may be raised within the year."
Some of these black folks so dumb, they don't realize that we about to take over. But what we're going to do is we're going to place them in servitude to our banking system. They'll never know what happened. They'll be cursed when they come in and cursed when they go out. From the moment they're born, we're going to place a Cesta QV trust over them, register them, incorporate them, and immediately classify them as black, which means nothing, and debt slaves. Let's go.
Year. But this is for want of a knowledge of our real resources and expenses. It may be demonstrated that the whole amount of the revenue, which these
They don't even know how rich they actually are. Let's start this over. Listen to the code. That's all you got to do. I'm going to let it play.
raised within the year. But this is for want of a knowledge of our real resources and expenses. It may be demonstrated that the whole amount of the revenue, which these states are capable of affording, will be deficit annual $5 or $6 million for the support of civil government and of the war. Through this, Hamilton is saying that we need credit to survive through the war.
All right, that's enough. We'll speak more on that war later. But yeah, welcome back, season 3, Focus Daily TV. Y'all hit that like button and subscribe. Till next time, yeah.